everyone, it's Holmes from Home Storybooks, and I'm here today to bring you a review of Jonny Appleseed by Joshua Whitehead, published by Arsenal Pulp Press. First, happy Indigenous Peoples Day for yesterday. I try to keep in mind that every day should be Indigenous Peoples Day because I live on Indigenous land every day. Jonny Appleseed is a stunning novel, stunning like starlight. Character-driven, cheeky, sexy, and melancholy, Whitehead's writing will leave you hungry for more. Unapologetically queer and steeped in LGBTIQA slang, queer culture, and jokes about Grindr, Whitehead doesn't water down the queerness of the novel for a non-LGBTIQA audience. A relief for me while I read, because there's nothing worse than seeing an author pander to an audience and lose part of the integrity of the book in doing so. Jonny's narrative is part dream, part memory, part moment to moment of his present. He slips into rememberings and daydreams in an organic way, such that it feels like a conversation. By the end of the novel, I felt like Jonny was a friend of mine. Surreal now that I finished the book and I can't just check his Twitter account and see how he's doing. Perhaps my favorite aspect of the book is how Jonny's grandmother, or Kokum, and mother both support him being queer from a young age. They know he's two-spirit and they accept it readily. Not only do they accept it, they say he's special, that he's sacred. When he's young, he goes to a school dance after being forced into a Mickey Mouse costume when he wants to be Minnie. His grandmother makes him a beau anyway, and he dances with a boy and comes home gushing about the experience. His stepfather takes a belt and beats him, telling him that boys don't dance with boys. The majority of men in Jonny's life still engage in toxic colonial practices despite a 60,000 plus year long history of two-spirit people in First Nations culture. His mother and grandmother come to his defense again and again. Jonny asks to come to a sweat lodge and he's welcomed with open arms, as long as he dresses modestly. He wears a skirt down to his ankles and is told again, dress modestly. His grandmother tears into the guy for daring to speak to her grandson that way, and the whole scene just made my heart melt. The women in Jonny's life are decolonizing these men every time they confront them, every time they allow Jonny to be exactly who he feels he wants to be. His mother's unconditional acceptance of him makes me tear up almost every time. It's so powerful to think of Jonny's existence as unquestioned, as sacred. This book won't be, and shouldn't be, for everyone. The non-linear writing style, the bittersweet humor, the constant explicit chatter about sex means that this won't be everyone's cup of tea, which makes me love it all the more. Not that I get to be some high and mighty, my taste is superior to yours, or even that I get to belong to a group of people who do like the book. It's the fact that the book was meaningful to me, when it could have been meaningful to anyone else. The fact that this book will mean different things to different people is a key to its power, and its ability to transcend the page and affect the individual reader. I think Whitehead captures the queer experience perfectly in one particular scene. After remembering the incident in the sweat lodge, Jonny puts on a jingle dress he made himself from things he scavenged. He dances and he's joyful. I have a few LGBTIQA friends who were kicked out of their homes after they came out, and there's such a bittersweetness. All of my friends are happy and safe now, but there are moments where they miss the family dog, or the particular curve of their street, or long summer days in front of a particular bedroom window. The author captures so easily the darker part of the LGBTIQ experience, and how Jonny survives it. He is joyful not in spite of his experience, but because of it. Because of those darker, more difficult times in his life, even the simplest things can be brilliant. This is a love story, but also a love letter to so many Indigenous queer youth. A bridge, a helpful hand, all signed with a kiss. Whitehead demonstrates that Indigenous people and Two-Spirit people are not in the past. They are a becoming, he says in the acknowledgements. Jonny is Two-Spirit, OG Cree, and deserving of his own story. More than that, he deserves to be the titular character in this story. I'll definitely want a copy of this book for my bookshelf, and if you guys know me, you know I get the majority of my books from the library before purchasing them myself. I only want the best of the best on my shelves, and this is one of those. 4.5 out of 5 stars, docking half a star because Joshua Whitehead broke my heart. Full of mischief, sweetness, and biting wit. I adored Jonny from the moment we met on the page, and every moment after that, when I learned about his life and sex life in gratuitous detail. I owe the author of this book so much, but I need to ask one more favor. Can I get a sequel? That's it, that's all for this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye everyone!